Hello, my name is Lydia Chester, and today we're going to take a look at methadone clinics, specifically exploring the history of methadone clinics and how they began. We'll explore what methadone really is and go over what is required of the patients who enter the clinic. I personally am not an addict and have never been to a methadone clinic. However, I have lost a few friends to drug overdoses and can only think maybe a methadone clinic could have helped them overcome their addiction. These past few years, we know that opioid and heroin addiction is on the rise, and methadone clinics are starting to pop up close to home. But where did it all begin? Let's explore how methadone clinics started and why they were needed. After World War II, the rise of heroin addicts was becoming an epidemic. The death rate of those who were injecting heroin increased drastically. From 7.2 deaths per 10,000, the number grew to 35.8 deaths per 10,000. The spread of disease from heroin addicts became a major problem in New York City. The citizens realized something needed to be done to stop the diseases and lower the number of addicts. Researchers at Rockefeller Foundation developed a system of dosing heroin addicts with methadone to prevent their use of heroin. They were able to establish multiple methadone treatment facilities in New York, and the patients showed improvement. They were able to stop using heroin, stop committing crimes to get their drugs, and become an active member of society again. Now that we know the history of methadone clinics and how they began, let's take a look at what methadone and Suboxone is exactly and how it works. There are two main drugs given to those with an opioid addiction, one being methadone and two being Suboxone. Methadone works best for those who have had a long history of addiction because it is much more stronger than Suboxone. Suboxone works best for those who may have only been addicted to opioids for a few years. Suboxone is the first medication approved by the FDA to treat opioid addiction. Suboxone can be taken home just like any other medication you may be prescribed through a doctor's office. Suboxone helps opioid addicts in the following ways: reduces opioid use, blocks the effects of other opioids, helps reduce the cravings for opioids, and stops the symptoms of withdrawal. Suboxone is a partial opioid agonist that produces less effect than a full opioid agonist when it binds to opioid receptors in the brain. When the receptors are stimulated, they cause different chemicals to activate in areas that cause euphoria. Methadone works the same way it is, just more potent to help long-term users. Now that we understand how methadone and Suboxone work, let's look at what process you go through to enter a clinic and what steps you must go through in order to stay in the clinic. When attending a methadone clinic, you must take random monthly urinalysis to make sure you have not continued to use drugs. When attending a methadone clinic, the patients are required to participate in group counseling. These sessions are focused on allowing the client to work through their treatment goals. While in counseling, the patient will create a treatment plan, which is a way to better themselves. Insurance will not cover the cost of methadone through the clinic. You must pay the fee every time you come, which could be $100 each visit. I've covered the basic information about methadone clinics. Today we learned the history of methadone and how it began, the specific drugs you may use, methadone or Suboxone, and the requirements you must follow to stay in the program. I hope you will find this information useful and pass it on. You may just save someone's life. Thanks!